Hi everyone, welcome back to the Potsmoker's Bible. My name is Zion. I'm the author of the Potsmoker's Bible, which contains the prophetic book of Zion, where I get my name and authority. It comes from the Ketuvim, or Old Testament of the Christian Bible. I use the King James Version of the Bible to put together the prophetic book of Zion, which is written entirely in Bible verse. If you want to find out what the prophecy actually says, I suggest you go to Potsmoker's Bible on YouTube and find me in the feed. It's all lowercase. And there you will find the Book of Zion, which is the prophecy of the Old Testament. And today's episode is continuing in my series of Ascension, which is the concept that if you choose to do so, you can evolve into a higher life form called spirit. The process of ascension teaches us that souls are created with planets, and that every soul has a perfect mate that was created at the same instant that they were created. They are their opposites in some regards, as in one is male and one is female, and they are both equally light and dark, or what we call good and evil. And it is this interplay between the two sides that gives us life. Now, when a soul evolves into its perfect form, it draws its mate to it, and the two merge and become a higher life form called spirit. This is what evolution is geared towards on all scales. We live on a planet. We are on the first scale of evolution, the physical scale, the physical plane. And we've just opened up the path of ascension for this planet. And that path of ascension is called the Unicorn Way. And now you might wonder why I mentioned Zeus and Hera in this, because it's a Bible-based prophecy. Well, the Bible tells us that it's all one. The unicorns are in the Bible. They're mentioned in the Bible, and it literally says, when the unicorns come. And the Unicorn Way is the coming of the unicorn. And it's not the coming from out there of the unicorn here. It's the coming of the unicorns that have been created here into their form. Because on this planet, the unicorn is not an equine. That is their original form, and that is the form that they have evolved from. And in other places in the universe, there are planets where unicorns are the traditional unicorn. But this is a unique planet because of Zeus and Hera. In order for Zeus to undo Hera's curse that separated them, he had to create for her a race of beings called unicorn people, bipedal humans with the souls of unicorns. And that is, I'm told, why our planet was created, and why we have this very unique form of Godhead here on Earth. And that Godhead is in the form of the unicorn. We are all, on other planets, normal beings, are all human. They have human souls, or they are all unicorn, having come from unicorn souls. But here on this planet, we are a combination of the two. Now, within us is the human capability of evil. But that is like a fourth of what we are. because half of us is a unicorn. And unicorns are beings of light. There's no darkness in them. All their darkness is justice. So half of us already has no darkness in it. The other half of us, which is the human half, has half light and half dark, which gives us a quarter of the dark. Now, in order to purge that quarter from us, we were allowed to run amok, letting all that evil and bad and dark out to play, which is what has happened with our world today. All the darkness has come out to play, and it runs rampant in our streets. Well, not in our streets, because in our streets the unicorns rampage at this time, or the proto-unicorns, the people who have turned darkness to justice. They're my people. The people who have rampaged, not in the streets, they rampage in the governments. They rampage in the money. That is our darkness. That is that quarter of us coming out in full view to be purged from us. So, we have now come to that point in our evolution where we have opened up the unicorn way. I was the first to find my unicorn soul, to give birth to my unicorn half. And this is a spiritual unicorn, not a physical unicorn, because I'm the physical aspect of that unicorn. This is the unicorn that you see. This is the unicorn that you get. But I perfected my soul for the light. I chose to become a being of light, to work towards the greater good, to save humanity, to end suffering. That is the unicorn way. And I did not know what I was doing when I did this, because it was a hidden path that could only be found by the Zion, and only through the fulfillment of the prophecy of Israel. That is the Zion, the person who fulfills that prophecy. And her mate is what we call the bald one. The reason why he's called the bald one is because the last legitimate king to sit upon the throne of Jerusalem, the throne of David, was a bald one. And that's why the bald one has arrived. Now, through the perfecting of my spirit, or of my soul, I managed to manifest my unicorn spirit. And I do mean spirit, because a unicorn is a spirit. They evolve as spirit. To get to the unicorn, to become a unicorn, you have to be spirit. Here you have to perfect the soul. And then the unicorn spirit comes, or is born of you. And it's unique. And you first have to embrace the spiritual side of life. You have to evolve past the physical form. Science cannot just be enough. If you only look towards the five senses of the flesh, you live in the flesh, and you are bound to the flesh, and you forget with the flesh. But a soul that is on the path of evolution doesn't perfects itself. It chooses, and whatever lifetime it chooses it over and over again, it chooses to evolve, to become something more. You get to a point where physical things are just not enough for you because you sense and you feel and you see with an inner eye things that are not physical because you evolve into spirit. And before you become living spirits through the merging of soulmates, you must first enter into the spiritual plane. And you do that through several different means. Well, through a couple of different means. You can do it through adversity, which is what the war on drugs is for. For me, it was rape. It was sex abuse that took me to the precipice of soul. And with that, I added my drug use, marijuana in particular, which is the tree of life from the prophecy of Israel, that which redeems us and elevates us into the spiritual plane. It is the means by which the flesh becomes spirit or soul. It is at that point when the soul decides that it wants more and it seeks entry into the spiritual plane either through tragedy, which is the way of darkness and purging, as in most of my people's way cases, or through questing to seek to become more. And when you seek to become more, you inevitably find your way to drugs, because drugs are the means by which flesh becomes spirit. It opens the mind to the spiritual plane. That is the two ways that you have to reach spirit on this physical plane. You can either do it through tragedy or you can do it through drugs and through seeking. I did both. And I found my way to light. I pledged my soul and my body to work towards the betterment of humanity, to end suffering. That was my goal. And to end suffering, I found my way to the unicorn. And the unicorn became manifest within me because she was always there, because half of my soul was created as a unicorn. So I suppressed that quarter of myself that is dark and allowed the 3/4 of myself that is light to manifest itself. And I did it through the controlling of my mind, because my mind is an interface between my physical self and what is outside of my physical self. And those things and beings that are outside of myself, that are on the same plane of existence that I am on, has the ability to affect me if I let it. We live in a negative field. Negative thoughts are easy. Negative actions are easy. Negativity is glorified. But to suppress that quarter of yourself that is geared towards negative, that's far easier than you think. Just reject all negative thoughts. Now, may the Great watch over you, guide you, protect you, keep you from all harm, and teach you right from wrong. May you be worthy of them. May your thoughts, words, and deeds reflect truth, good, and light, the unicorn way. Find your joy, be the joy, and spread the joy. That also is the unicorn way. Stay happy and high. Know I love you. See you later. I'll never say goodbye.